Hello everybody, Ghostblade 1062 here with another locomotive review. Today we will be looking at the ET44AC, road number 5004 in the Kansas City Southern scheme by Intermountain. Taking a look at the box, we have a clear front window giving us our first look at the locomotive itself, as well as the Intermountain logo. On the top and bottom, we have the Intermountain logo again. On the right side of the box, we have a little bit of information about Intermountain as a company. And on the left side of the box, we have a picture of the locomotive, as well as the product ID and barcode, and we see that it is equipped with an ESU lock sound decoder. Opening up the box, we find that the locomotive is encased in a clear plastic cover as well as a clamshell. We also have some paperwork included. To start off with, we have some basic operating and removal instructions. We have a list of the various functions of the locomotive, which we will be going over in a bit. We have a list of the various CVs that the locomotive has. And we have some maintenance instructions for the locomotive as well. Moving on, we will now remove the outer plastic shell. And the locomotive is held firmly in place by these two pieces of foam, as well as two screws on the underside, which we will remove now while the locomotive is still being held in place. Now we can pop open the front of the clamshell. And remove the foam, which will release the locomotive. Taking a look at the side of the locomotive, we have the Kansas City Southern logo on the side, as well as the road number. We have tinted windows with a window shade over top. We have etched fans and separately applied plastic grab irons and handrails. We have a number of safety and warning decals along the side of the locomotive, a separately fitted brake wheel, and we have very nicely detailed trucks with separately fitted chains and rotating bearing caps on the front and rear trucks. On the front of the locomotive, we have the headlights and ditch lights. We have a plow, as well as brake hoses. We also have the KCS logo on the front of the locomotive and separately fitted windshield wipers. Turning the locomotive around, We see much of the same detail as on the other side. And looking at the rear of the locomotive, we have again the road number and separately fitted handrails and grab irons. We have our brake hoses. And we have the road number. And now, taking a look at the top of the locomotive, we have edged radiator fans and a clearly distinguished exhaust. We have our horn and a nicely detailed antenna array. And next, we will be checking the coupler heights and to see if the wheels are engaged. Alright, taking a look, we can see that the front coupler is sitting low, and moving the gauge to the other side, we see that the rear coupler is also sitting slightly lower, though not as much as the front. Next, we will check to see if the wheels are engaged. Alright, checking with the NMRA standards gauge, we see that all of the axles on the front truck are aligned properly, as are all of the axles on the rear truck. And next, we will be moving over to the track to test the functions of the locomotive. Alright everybody, now that we have the locomotive on the track, we will go over the various functions. Starting with function 0, which activates the directional headlights. Now on to function 1, which is the bell. Function 2 is the air horn as well as an automatic bell, and when activated, flashing ditch lights. Function 3 is coupler sounds. Function 4 is the dynamic brake fan, which is not heard right now as the locomotive is not been powered on yet. Function 5 is number board lights. Function 6 is the ditch lights, which, if we hit the horn again, are flash. Function 7 is a dimmer. Function 8 starts up the prime mover of the locomotive. And with the prime mover sounds, we can hear changes as the locomotive starts to move. Function 9 is a drive hold function. Function 10 is independent brakes. Function 11 activates the walkway lights on the front and the rear of the locomotive. Function 12 activates the DPU lights. Function 13 activates radiator fan sounds. Function 14 is handbrake sounds. Function 15 is an isolation switch. Function 16 is sounds for the air dryer. Function 17 is brake set and release. Function 18 is sanding. Function 19 is an air release. Short sound. Function 20 is the air compressor sounds. Function 21 is the modern air dryer sounds. Function 22 is cab door opening and closing. Function 23 is the engine compartment doors opening and closing. Function 24 is the reverse center. Function 25 is load modes. For the various weight-based sounds. Giving the locomotive sound of more struggle. Function 27 lowers the sound, the pressure sounds on the locomotive. Function 28 is also included in this. Function 29 is shutters opening and closing. And function 30 is an automatic brake. And that covers the function part of our video. Alright everybody, that covers our review of the Kansas City Southern road number 5004 ET44AC from Intermountain. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and a comment, and subscribe if you would like to see more model railroad videos.